Today we will learn about the angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines. Look at these pairs of lines. Can you tell us any difference between them? Give it a thought. Let us tell you. In this pair, two lines are intersecting each other. Such lines are called intersecting lines. Now, look at these pairs of lines. In this pair, no matter how much the line P and line Q are extended, they will never intersect each other. That is, the distance between these two will always remain the same. Lines that never intersect are called parallel lines. The line P and line Q are parallel. We show it like this. Now, look at these pair of lines. The two lines in the figure do not intersect, but they have no endpoints. So let's extend them. If we look at them, they intersect at one point. That is, both the lines are not parallel, but the intersecting lines. Today we will discuss about the transversal on parallel lines. In the previous video, we learnt the transversal of two lines makes different angles. Then those two lines are parallel. We get to know even more interesting things about the angles made by the transversal. Let's learn about them. We will understand this by doing an activity. By placing the ruler on paper, we will draw a line along its upper edge. Without changing the position of the ruler, we will draw the line M along the lower edge. This will give us two parallel lines. Line L parallel M. Then we will draw a transversal from which we will get the angles shown. Let's find the measure of angle 1 using a protractor. As you can see, here we have got a measurement of angle 1 as 50 degrees. Similarly, with concept of corresponding angle, we find the angle corresponding to angle 1, that is angle 5, then it will also be 50 degrees. We can say that the corresponding angles, angle 1 and angle 5, are equal. Similarly, the corresponding angles, angle 2 and angle 6, are also equal. The corresponding angles, angle 3 and angle 7, are also equal, and the corresponding angles, angle 4 and angle 8, are also equal. Keep in mind that all these corresponding angles are created by the transversal of parallel lines. Now, look at this figure, in which it shows two lines and its transversal. But here, the two lines are not parallel. Would the measure of each corresponding angles be the same? Even in this case, we can think. Let's find out. If we make this angle on a trace paper and keep it on the corresponding angle, then we will find that they do not cover each other completely. If we find the measurement of any angle and its corresponding angle with the help of the protractor, then we will know that in this case the measurement of the corresponding angle is different. So what do you know from these two situations? This shows us that if two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, then the measurement of each pair of corresponding angles is the same. If the lines are not parallel, then the corresponding angles created by the transversal are not equal. You can keep the shape of F in mind to easily identify a pair of corresponding angles. Here, these angles are the corresponding angles. Similarly, these angles are also the corresponding angles. Find the pair of corresponding angle through this trick by pausing the video. Now looking at this figure, can you tell what is the relation between angle 3 and angle 5? Give it a thought. Absolutely right. These are alternate interior angles. Like the corresponding angles, There is also an interesting relationship between the alternate interior angles formed by the transversal of the parallel lines. Let's understand this. Here angle 1 and angle 3 are vertically opposite angles, and we know that the vertically opposite angles are equal. Therefore, we can say that the angle 3 is equal to angle 1, but angle 5 and angle 1 are the corresponding angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines. So, they are also equal. Since angle 1 is equal to both angle 3 and angle 5, so we can say that angle 3 is equal to angle 5. Similarly, if we draw this angle on the trace paper and place it at its alternate interior angle, then we find that the measurement of both is the same. Now, look at this figure. In this figure also, two lines and their transversal are shown, but here both the lines are not parallel. In this case, if we make this angle on the trace paper, putting it at its alternate interior angle, then in this case, both the angles do not cover each other completely. That is, their measurements are not equal. We can see this for any pair of alternate angles. So, what do you know from these two situations? Give it a thought. Absolutely right. We can say that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of alternate interior angles is the same. If the lines are not parallel, then the alternate interior angles formed by their transversal are not equal. To identify a pair of alternate angles, you can take the shape of Z into consideration. Similarly, the pair of alternate external angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines is also equal. Hence, angle 1 is equal to angle 7 and angle 2 is equal to angle 8. You should find out the reason why. Looking at the given figure, will you be able to find of any pair of interior angles formed by transversal of parallel lines on the same side? Give it a thought. Absolutely right. Here are such pairs, angle 3 and angle 6, or angle 4, angle 5. Let's talk about angle 4 and angle 5. If we look at angle 4 and angle 2, they are vertically opposite angles, so they are equal. If you see the measurement of both the angles, then you will find that the measurement of each of the two is 130 degrees. That is, angle 2 is equal to angle 4, 130 degrees. Similarly, if we look here, that angle 5 is the corresponding angle of angle 1. Therefore, angle 5 is equal to angle 1 is equal to 50 degrees. If we add angle 4 and angle 5, we get 130 degrees plus 50 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Is the total measurement. Can you tell if the sum of two angles is 180 degrees? Then what are we calling them? Exactly. We call these supplementary angles. Similarly, here you can see that angle 3 and angle 6 are also supplementary because here angle 3 plus angle 6 is equal to 180 degrees. This shows us that if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. If the lines are not parallel, then each pair of interior angles formed on the same side of the transversal is not supplementary. Today we learnt about angles formed by the transversal of parallel lines. In the next video, we will learn how to check whether two lines parallel or not.